What's up? It's Phil from Fit Will Expose. In today's episode, I have a very special guest, JJ Andersen from That Damn Gym, aka Dairyland Strength. You can check out his YouTube channel, Dairyland Strength. You guys probably recognize him from Eric Bugenhagen's videos. He's like his old training partner. I think they still train together. But nonetheless, this is what a real drug-free lifter looks like. And I'm not anti-drug, but at the same time, I like talking to drug-free lifters because that's what I am, and that's what the majority of the viewers are. So I think you guys can learn a lot from this guy, and it's going to be a Blitz Q&A. So we're basically just going to be blasting through questions, not getting into too many details, and you guys are just going to love it. So how are you doing today, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm on a fourth cup of coffee already. It's like
Fourth cup of
fucking
coffee?
10 a.m. here.
Oh my god. So
Totally addicted.
Wow. Okay, so for all you guys who don't know, JJ Andersen, the guy's strong as fuck. He deadlifts close to 500 pounds, one hand. He does Zercher lifts, 4.5 plates. Meadows rows, underhand grip, 9 plates. The guy that has like tons of feats of strength. Like his legs, his lower body strength,
Thanks,
his
man.
back strength, completely out of this world, And
Yeah, I'm like all legs and ass.
all legs and ass. So why don't you tell everybody like what your stats are as far as like your height, your weight, body fat, just for those who are curious.
Yes, I'm almost 6'2", like, was that 188 centimeters or something?
6'2", okay.
Somewhere on there. I'm like, I usually hover between like 225 and 230. Most of that's in my legs, but yeah, let's see. I'm 27 right now, almost 28.
Okay.
I've been lifting purely for strength probably 2 years. Before that, I used to compete in rowing, and before that, I was a really skinny cross-country runner. So.
Oh, really? You used to compete in rowing?
Yeah,
Nice, man,
indoor rowing though. So it was like, which is more competitive than real rowing in my opinion, because like big guys can do it.
Interesting. You think
I was actually world ranked.
Rowing?
Yeah, I think so. Probably. I think you build that raw power and stuff. So
Okay.
it's gotta help.
Okay, interesting. So why don't you tell the audience what your current goals are for size, strength? Are there any lifts that you really want to hit to like fulfill your legacy? Like you hit this lift and you're like, you'll be somewhat happy. And also, if you have no aesthetic goals at the moment, because you just say you like strength, also tell us why you don't train for aesthetics. I know it's kind of like a long question.
No, yeah. I think my current goal, or my lifetime goal, is a 700-pound ox lift for now. I've hit 620. About a month ago, I hit 620, which is, as far as I can find, the best ox lift ever done. I saw one guy could find it 600, and he kind of cheated by like loading up the lower bar more than the top. If you don't know, an ox lift is you put a safety squat bar on your back, and then underneath you,
ox lift.
Ox, yeah.
Okay, ox.
So yeah, safety squat bar on your back, and then a trap bar under you. And you start with the standing with the trap bar. You go down, with the safety squat bar, squat down, grab the trap bar, come up with both for max weight. And I do it with the low handles too. Most people use the high handles, so I got to make things as hard as possible.
So your goal is 700. Sorry, is 700.
Yes.
200
700
the top,
pounds.
500 bottom, or something? Or?
No, same equal weight.
Okay.
So when I did 620, I had 310 on each, I think.
Interesting. Okay.
So I try to keep them equal. But yeah, so that's probably my legacy, I guess, lift. Trying to better myself there. Just like make the record unattainable for everyone else.
Is there like a
aesthetics
current
wise
record in that for the ox lift?
What was that?
Is there a current world record in the ox lift? Or?
The heaviest I could find was 600, and I did 620. So.
Oh wow.
So I think I have the record as far as I could find, at least.
Wow.
Not that many people do it, but whatever. I don't give a shit. Aesthetics wise, like I don't really care too much. I wouldn't mind some Tom Platz legs, but other than that, like I just lift to be strong. If I get bigger doing it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing really. I like having big legs though. I think that's the coolest thing to have personally.
Okay. So let's talk about the big three, right? In powerlifting, squat, bench, deadlift, and obviously you're more of an unconventional type of lifter, which is great.
For sure.
Ideally, if you were to like reinvent the wheel, right? What would be your big three?
I'd say Bulgarian split squat, Jefferson deadlift, and probably an overhead press, some kind of overhead press.
Okay.
I think you go really far with those three, honestly. Like, especially if you're an athlete, I think you get a lot more out of doing single leg stuff and unilateral stuff. But there's no sport where you're in like a deadlift position, really, like a conventional deadlift. Not that it's a bad lift or anything. I think deadlift, squats, and bench are fine, but I think for the average person, for athletes especially, there's better alternatives. So that's what I do.
Okay. Well, I think some of the audience wants to know because obviously some of the people watching already, we're somewhat in the same niche. Some of these people know who you are too, and some people are probably asking, "Okay, well, why so unconventional?" And also, I'm sure people also want to know where do you find out about these lifts because I see you doing like tag team deadlifts, tag team Pendlay rows, like funny lifts,
Yeah.
And people want to know, and I also want to know, like, is there like a book that you read to like get all these lifts, or do you just think of it on the spot, or?
A lot of it is just experimentation. Like yesterday, it's just what's this called? Necessity is the mother of invention. So, like yesterday, my lifting straps went missing because I was gonna do some shrugs, but my straps were gone. So I was like, well, fuck, I gotta do something. So I had the plates at my gym have like the handles on them, So I ended up doing like taking a loadable dumbbell, and making that into like a kettlebell, basically, and did kettlebell swings, like holding onto the plates. I did 257 pounds for 5 reps or something. So a lot of it's just like messing around, trying to invent stuff. I don't know. Some of it comes from just like YouTube. There's a guy on Instagram I follow, Strongman Archaeology. He does a lot of weird lifts too. A lot of it's like reading about old time strongmen. They do a lot of what we consider weird nowadays, but back then it was normal, like the 2-hand anyhow. That was like a normal lift back in the 20s and 30s, but no one does it anymore. So that stuff's fun. Honestly, the main reason I do it keeps things interesting. If I had to focus on just squat, bench, dead my entire life, I would, I'd blow my brains out. I'd get so depressed, and it'd lose its fun. I don't know. There's a lot of it's just messing around. A lot of the lifts are excellent, like the Jefferson. They may seem odd, but they're really, really, really good lifts. So.
No, I agree. I think because now, like, powerlifting, it became so popular, like, in the last maybe, like, 10, especially in, like, the last 10 years, like, since 2007 to, like, pretty much till now.
Yeah.
It's very mainstream, and I feel like
I think the average person, like for me, like conventional deadlifts never felt good. Like, when I first started lifting, I was like, well, everyone else deadlifts, I have to deadlift. And they never felt good. Nothing ever felt right about them. And then I stopped doing them, and I got way stronger by doing like alternatives, like behind the back deadlifts, Jeffersons, trap bar deadlifts, and I got way stronger not doing it.
I think people just have to get out of the mentality where it's like it's not the big three, it's worthless, because not everybody wants to compete in powerlifting either,
Yeah, exactly.
People don't care about it, and like also like if you have bodybuilding goals, there's way better lifts. Like, for example, if you're trying to build like a big back, I say it all the time. I think snatch grip deadlift is way superior to the regular deadlift.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree.
The bench and squat are great for like they're all great lifts, but at the same time, like.
Yeah, there are other lifts that are equally great.
Exactly. Like I think like the shoulder press and the military press, like the push press, are just as good like indicators of upper body pushing strength than the bench press.
Oh, for sure, probably better, honestly.
So. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of books, like before, as a coach, what are some must-have reads for coaches?
Oof. I read a lot of like Greg Nuckols stuff, like just getting the science behind a lot of things. I think the science is important. It's not like the end all be all lifting. A lot of it's unquantifiable in my opinion with lifting, like how much heart you have, how much intensity you have. But so I read a lot of like Greg Nuckols for the science behind stuff. I read a lot of stuff like John Bro's stuff he's written. He's a weightlifting coach out of Las Vegas. He kind of got famous for the squat every day thing. Kind of popularized that in the U.S. It's a lot of him. I read a lot of stuff about Olympic weightlifting. A lot of stuff the Chinese and like Koreans are doing. I think they kind of have it right, where they're isolated and they don't care what looks cool. They just do what works. Which I think in the U.S. at least a lot of that's lacking. People just want to look cool in the gym. But in China they'll try weird shit just to see if it works, and I like that. It's a lot of Chinese weightlifters and stuff I'll read about. And old time strongmen.
Like your average bookstore is like chapters and stuff. Like doesn't have these kinds of books, so I'm guessing you order these books online, right?
Yeah, stuff like that, and just like find articles, and it's not normal like bodybuilding. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding or whatever. I don't read that stuff really. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I like that too.
mostly
I
online
like
stuff.
articles too. I like articles, seminars,
Mm,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff. Podcasts, Skypes, and all that.
yeah, exactly. I watch a lot of stuff like Dmitry Klokov, what he does, interviews with like Konstantin Konstantinov, and anyone I think who is intense and has a lot of heart in what they do, I'll give them a go.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Okay, so for all the audience who's wondering what style of training he's running,
mm,
he's running something called the Bulgarian, right?
Bulgarian light,
Bulgarian
yeah,
light.
Bulgarian light. Yeah,
And you
I've
have
been
your own
calling it the
spin on it?
Wisconsin method.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah, because like Eric Bugenhagen, he kind of popularized it. He's from Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin. I do the same thing. So it's basically I pick a lift, I max out for weight usually every single day, and then the next day I add more weight. So like, for example, if I'm doing behind the back deadlift and I hit 500 pounds, I'll do the next day I'll hit 520. The day after that, 540, 560, 580, 600, and I keep going like that until I stall. So it's pretty simple. No accessories or anything. I just go full ham bone on one lift.
So
That's it.
in a nutshell, for those who don't know, that's pretty much Bulgarian. You max out every
Yeah,
day until
yeah,
you can't do it anymore, and you just move on to another lift.
yeah. Pretty much like our version of Bulgarian.
But what about the assistance? So there's no assistance. It's just one lift. Working
Nope,
out to
just
like a
one lift.
max.
Nope, I work up to a max and then go home.
Or if you're training at home, then you're already like Eric, he's just in his okay.
Yeah, same thing. So we basically like every once in a while I'll do like an accessory just for the hell of it. Like I'll do some pull ups or something. But for the most part, it's just one lift, max out weight, like 100% max.
Okay.
Like Louis Simmons, make him proud,
Mm-hmm.
max out and then go home.
Okay.
So
Okay, interesting.
could be any
So
simpler.
let's dive into the topic of I know people are annoyed at this by now, but the snatch grip lifts, right? Because
Yeah,
I'm constantly talking about snatch grip lifts and how
yeah,
for back development, just back strength overall, they're just very underrated,
I agree.
underutilized, and you've been using snatch grip lifts in some of your training when you're doing Bulgarian.
For sure.
And do you mind just explaining to the audience like the back sensation, what it does for your back strength, just your experience with snatch grip lifts overall?
So I think one of the main benefits is just hitting your mid and upper back a lot harder and your spinal erectors too. Like if you're doing a snatch grip deadlift versus a conventional deadlift, your spinal erectors are going to get worked more. Your mid upper back. I think it's a little easier to recover from if you're doing Bulgarian style. Like with the way I train, conventional deadlift just doesn't work. It's a little too taxing on the lower back and nervous system. But just by like widening your grip, it reduces the weight in a way. Like it feels just as heavy, but the actual weight's less. And you work honestly more of your body, in my opinion. So I really like snatch grip stuff, like snatch grip high pulls.
Yeah.
And it's just another variation people can add too. Like if your conventional deadlift stalls, maybe go to snatch grip for a while, and I'm sure it'll carry over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially off the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Or
that's
even
interesting
rack
you say
pulls,
that
everything.
because I was gonna ask you like you just said you think it's easier to recover from than a conventional deadlift.
Yeah.
But I personally think it's pretty much the same because you obviously you're lifting lighter with the snatch grip, but the range of motion is also a lot more. So
True.
it's kind of like
True.
you're pulling off a deficit.
Yeah.
So,
But I
from
know,
what
like
you're
for me
saying,
at least, like my lower back, it doesn't hit quite as hard. Like my very lower back, like around the
oh
lumbar
really?
and stuff. Maybe it's just my levers and stuff, but like I was able to run my style of training with snatch grip deadlifts for a while, and it worked okay. But the conventional, I can go like 2 days and I'm done. So it's kind of
Yeah,
I don't.
conventional, yeah. Especially if you don't have the right leverages and genetics for it, like
Yeah, like I have like T-Rex arms. I have the shortest arms on the planet. So like,
yeah.
yeah, it's regular deadlifts have always just never felt good to me. Snatch grips feels pretty good for some
Yeah.
reason.
And people underestimate that, how like people are like, oh, why can't you just do Bulgarian with the conventional deadlift? But it's like if you have good genetics for that lift, then yes, you
Yeah.
could probably get away with it. But like you're saying, if you have T-Rex arms, it's gonna be harder on your recovery,
Yep.
and you're gonna be way more sore, obviously, and
Yeah.
just
One thing I do with a
beats
lot
you
of
up
my
more.
clients with snatch grip, I'm a big believer in lifting purposely with a rounded spine sometimes. Because eventually when you're deadlifting, you're going to round your spine by accident at some point, even if you don't mean to. So I think it's important to like practice being in these bad positions. So I have a lot of my clients do like snatch grip deadlifts with a purposely rounded back. So, like cat on Halloween back. not super heavy, just like
Light lows, yeah.
yeah, just really light ones, just to kind of like prepare your body to be in these bad positions. So that's one thing I use snatch grip for a lot too. Just like making the position as hard as possible, but with light weights. There's a couple uses.
Interesting. Let's talk about coffee. It's obviously drug free. I'm guessing you're not taking any like funky supplements, but you always talk about coffee. Eric too.
Yeah, just coffee. I don't even take protein or creatine or anything.
You mind talking about the pros and cons of coffee, and also who would you recommend it to?
I'd say, well, the pros, you'll feel better. I drink way too much coffee. I'm usually like 10 to 15 cups a day. Like I said, I'm on my 4th already, and it's 10 a.m. So,
okay.
So I drink way too much. Don't drink that much coffee. It's bad for your teeth. But yeah, so cons, bad for your teeth. You'll be pissing all the time. It'll dehydrate you slightly. But it makes you feel good. It makes me feel good. I love caffeine. So I'd say, like, if you never take caffeine, don't start. If you never drink caffeine. But if you do, then have some right before I work out.
Mm-hmm. But
I love coffee.
It's like, I'm asking you because literally every strong lifter I know, like let's say drug free,
yeah,
every single one of them drinks coffee. Every single one.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like
something about it. Yeah. And it gets your head in the right place. Like I enjoy the taste a lot, so it gets me like feeling good, warms me up a little. I drink like the strongest coffee I can find too. So,
the thing with coffee is I just don't want it to become a crutch. Like I don't want it to be like straps.
Yeah.
It's like I forget the straps, and it's like
yeah, well, which kind of has. Like if I have a day without coffee, I'm like freaking out. Like at work, the coffee machine broke like a month ago. I just felt like shit. Like I could like my lifts all went down like 40%, and
oh my god. So
it is a crutch for me, but it's a good crutch.
Okay. So let's talk about the Inman Mile. So for all you guys who don't know, it's basically like an event. It's kind of like strongman in a way, where you have a barbell with
150% of your body weight.
Your body weight, and you walk a mile, right?
Yeah, so you put it on your back, and it has to be a normal barbell. The goal is to walk a mile, and no one's ever done it successfully. It's so much harder than it sounds. I trained for it for like a month straight, and I made it about 200 meters.
200 meters.
It's like which isn't even close to a mile, obviously. The guy who thought of it, his name was Jerry Inman, and I don't think he even made it 200 meters. He died before he even completed it.
No, but it looks intense, bro.
Yeah, the farthest I've seen someone go is, I think it's like 450 meters. It's like a little over a quarter mile. It's so brutal. Like
I watched it. I watched it on your channel. I thought it was badass. But I wanted to know. You mentioned after how you should have trained for it in a different way. So you mind explaining to the audience, what do you think the most optimal way from your past experiences with the Inman Mile? What's the most optimal way to train for it? Let's say if you train in a commercial gym, you don't have access to like these crazy distances.
That's kind of what I did, because like what I was doing like really heavy holds first. I think I worked up to like I put 865 on my back, which is way over body and a half, obviously. And then I held that for like a minute straight, so just like really overload the feeling of it, which I think helped. But what I would have done differently is I would have just tried to walk with the barbell more. Like I'm just in a commercial gym and wasn't able to actually walk with it much. I'd walk back like 10 steps and walk forward, but yeah, I would have done more of that. Huh? Yeah, it's not the same. I tried walking in place with a bunch of weight, and that didn't really carry over that much, sadly. So if I were to do it like again, I would find a way to walk with the barbell and start really light and try to like a complete mile with maybe like 95 pounds, and then just start adding weight slowly. But I wasn't able to, sadly. But next year, I'm gonna do it once this summer, I think. So I'll try it next year.
Yeah, well, that seems like the most logical way. You actually specificity of training. Yeah. You actually do the mile with the bar on your back, not going back.
Exactly.
It's a different movement pattern altogether. But walking forward.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. The hardest part actually was like the way the barbell sits, especially because it's heavy and you're walking. Like your arms fall asleep. So after like maybe 40, 50 meters, my arms were completely dead.
Wow.
So like I literally could not feel my arms at the end.
So that was the limiting factor for you.
Yeah, that was one of the hardest parts. Yeah, just holding it, honestly. It's like, it honestly doesn't sound that hard, but if you watch the video of me doing it, you can kind of see how brutal it is. Like I start shaking, everything gets funky. It's good though.
At least it's not on it's not on the front rack hold, or like.
Yeah, right. It could be worse.
It could be way worse. Or
the
one where the the bars like in the crease of your elbows behind your
Oh yeah,
back.
Zerchers. Oh yeah, the fucking Piper
The
squat.
Piper.
Yeah, which I have the world record in, I think.
Yeah. Check that out. Check that out.
Way long time ago.
Okay. Let's talk about the snatch grip high pull. Once again, to the audience, I don't want to know you guys there, but you've done the snatch grip high pull before. You said you like it for
Yeah.
traps.
Oh, for sure.
And then I was talking to you about it recently, and you're saying how one of the best assistance exercises for this would be heavy kettlebell swings, because you're saying
definitely.
how you strengthen the hips, get that explosive movement going.
Yeah. I think just it overloads and really teaches you to be explosive with your hips, really pushing forward fast. And it's similar to a jump when you're doing a snatch grip high pull. When you come up, basically jumping with the bar, and I think just building that hip power with kettlebell swings is a good way to do it. They've got to be pretty heavy, so it depends what you have at your gym, but
what do you do if you're at a commercial gym, a regular one, and has a 50-pound kettlebell? You use a band on it?
Yeah, maybe if you have chains there for some reason, that'd be sweet. Attach some chains.
Okay.
Like I did yesterday, I just like I said, the plates at my gym have handles, so I put those on a loadable dumbbell and held onto the handles, and then swung with my hands parallel to each other. But I have a video of it, so you can check it out.
You think a loading pin could work? If you have a heavy loading pin, you could take an attachment and just...
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a loading pin would work. If you can get a handle for it, that can't be very expensive.
What
$30.
What kind of handle would you recommend?
Trying to think what brand. I think Elite FTS maybe makes one, I want to say. I'm not sure, but Black Widow, they make one.
Okay.
So that'd be a good way. You can just bring your own. I don't think they're that expensive. So, and plus, just building hip power is gonna help with everything. Being more explosive with your hips, it'll help your squat, it'll help your deadlift.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, it's definitely not. And low reps, right?
Yeah, I'd keep it 5 to 10 probably with kettlebell swings.
Okay, twice a week
somewhere
or
around
something.
there. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Let's talk about. Okay, so obviously you're strong in a multitude of different lifts. What's the worst lift that you have that you're embarrassed about and you're not scared to say it on camera?
I don't know. Probably my conventional deadlift. I think the last time I did a conventional deadlift was 3.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Other than fucking around. Yeah, so that's probably pretty bad. It was never all that good to begin with. Trying to think. Yeah, I'll probably say my conventional, just because I literally have not done it in years.
Wow.
So
if you think you're not built for conventional, what do you think you're built for? Squats?
Yeah, I'm much more built for squats. They've always felt better. I was for most of my lifting career, my squat has been more than my deadlift, by quite a significant amount. When I actually used to deadlift, I think when I first squatted, was it 200 kilos, so 440 pounds. I think my deadlift was at 385 or something.
Oh my god!
Wait, this was a long time ago, but so yeah, my squat's always been way more than my deadlift.
Interesting.
But I love deadlift variations, like Jefferson. I love behind the back deadlifts. I love. I've been doing these V-bar deadlifts recently, so stuff like that. One-arm deadlifts.
Yeah.
My one-arm deadlifts
I'm sure it should be.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. If I trained it for a couple of weeks, I'm sure it'd be
for sure
pretty good. But
okay, well, for those of you guys who watch J.J. Andersen's channel, you're gonna notice there's a lot of leg lifts, there's a lot of back lifts. But from time to time, he also does some presses, some arms, some triceps.
Yeah,
so
very
let's talk
seldom.
about the JM press experiment.
Oh, I love the JM press. I did it recently. I hadn't done it in a long time. If you don't know a JM press, it's kind of between a close grip bench and a skull crusher. It's kind of in between. You kind of bring it to your neck here. So you go until your elbow can't bend anymore, basically. But the heaviest I've done, I think I did 285 for 8 back in the day when I used to press once in a while. Recently I did, I think, 215 for 5 or something.
Okay.
Which is pretty good for my size. I feel, especially I hardly ever press. I press once every 4 months or so.
Wow.
But yeah, I would love it for tricep development. I think it has a lot of carryover to bench, more so than a skull crusher. But for a lot of people, it's rough on their elbows, so it kind of depends on your anatomy. For me, I've never had problems with it, but some people might get issues. Also, you should look up J.M. Blakely, the guy it's named after. He's fucking gigantic.
Yeah, yeah. But for the jam press though, like, do you initiate the movement by just bringing your elbows like forward?
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much. Yeah, so I almost like push him towards my waist, and then let the bar kind of just hang over my neck.
okay, interesting.
Yeah, so like
And
at the top here. So you're like when you're done with the movement, you're kind of like here, and you press up.
so your fist is really close to like your clavicle, I guess.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's like
interesting.
I like to use like a suicide grip with it, just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it feels a little easier as you go.
Hmm.
Pretty close grip. Like wherever you do close grip bench is probably fine, and then flare the elbows ever so slightly. So you don't want to be quite here. You don't want to be here either. That'd be weird on the wrist, but like a little bit of flare.
Okay, so you do a little bit of flare.
Yeah, it's a little bit, not much.
You think that
Keep it pretty
maximizes the
close.
triceps, or
Yeah, I think it makes it a little safer too. Like in case you like fail, you can kind of just like duck under and do a close grip bench.
okay,
So
interesting.
yeah.
Okay, now I want to talk about the. I'll tell you a little story. Basically, when I first started lifting, I was watching a lot of Matt Kroc
Mm,
in his DVD where he was doing a lot of stuff in his basement. I think it's when he first started
yeah,
getting into bodybuilding, and he
nice.
was doing a lift called the bench dip, where he would do
Mm,
5 sets of 20 for an 100 rep total, and
yeah,
he would just stack up plates, and just do bench dips. And
yep,
when I first started lifting, I loved the lift. I was doing like three
yeah,
plates, 5 sets of 20, whatever.
yeah,
It was an easy lift. It's an easy lift. You see guys doing like 10
for sure.
plates on YouTube, whatever.
Yeah,
But that lift, I remember once I went a bit too deep and like my
yeah,
shoulder like fucked up for like a few months. And I did physio and all that stuff. Then I pretty much just steered away from the lift. Then
yeah. It can be
fast,
sketchy on your rotator cuff for sure.
it is. But like you fast forward a bit, and I'm noticing too that nowadays like you fast forward till today, I'm noticing that the stretch you get in your triceps is crazy. It actually feels amazing
Oh,
in the
for sure.
triceps. So I want
Yeah,
to know about your experience with that lift. Like
yeah.
how did you do it safely? What did you work up to? And do you recommend it? Yeah.
So I don't know if I did it safely or not, but I put a safety squat bar on my back and did them, and I worked up to I think I did 335. Or was it 355? I think it was 335. Just for a single. I also did 315 for five, I think. Um, and that felt pretty good. It's like I said earlier, it's a little bit sketchy. So you really have to be in control. I think you have to be confident in your shoulder health. Like I've always had really strong joints. I've done some crazy shit with my joints that most people couldn't handle, but yeah, I think it's just a lot of it's just being smart, not so much focusing on going crazy depth. Like your elbows shouldn't be past your head and shit. Just go to what feels comfortable.
Mhm.
There's no really set way. I think the safety squat bar is way better because if you like stack plates on your lap, it
Yeah.
changes the levers for one thing, but also it's hard to do by yourself. But if you use a safety squat bar, you can just like unrack it, you can load it up pretty heavy, and it's gonna hit your upper body a little more.
Because
So
what people won't notice, and what I found very smart about the way you did it, is that what really injures the
mm,
shoulders when you do the bench dip is that it's the internal rotation. People have their hands in like kind of
yeah,
like a pronated grip.
yep,
But I noticed you grabbed it with more of a
yeah. So I
supinated,
like
no, no, a neutral grip. You had your
yeah,
hands on the
exactly. So
side.
I was holding onto a box. Yep, and I
Smart.
rotate a little bit, and
Yeah,
that's where issues happen. Yeah. So the more you can externally rotate, the better.
it's smart. It's smart.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about warming up. Are you the
Mm.
kind of guy who just warms up with the movement, or do stuff before, or like you don't do like
So
box jumps
usually
and
I
stuff like
just
that, or
yeah I just start with the movement usually, which is bad. I shouldn't do that. Like I'll just start with 135 for everything, and then just go. But with all my clients and stuff, I preach like working on mobility, getting your body warm before you do stuff.
yeah.
Um, so like a lot of my clients have them start with some easy mobility and then do some basics like some band work just to get warm and get everything activated, and then they'll hop in. But for me, I just hop right in, which is
Mhm.
bad, but it works for me.
Yeah. What's
It's pretty
your
dumb sometimes, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I understand. But
yeah,
as you get more advanced, you start to know what works for your body and what doesn't.
exactly. I think a lot about lifting is just finding out what works. Like a lot of people probably hurt themselves if they just jumped in with 135 for every single lift.
Hmm.
But for me, it works, so my body's used to it.
Hmm. What's your current relationship with Eric? You guys still train, and also, is he actually in WWE?
Yeah. Oh, so he had to move to Florida for the WWE, so we're not training together anymore, sadly. But we still talk. Yeah, we still talk on a regular basis, and talk about lifts and stuff. But yeah, he's in like the NXT program, and he's doing pretty well, I guess. He's in the fast track, so
Oh, yeah.
you guys should check him out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a
Crazy.
good guy, really nice guy.
No, when I heard that, I saw that on your page. I was super, super happy for him. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Like bigger and better things. Good for him.
it's like
He'll be
ever
richer than
since we
all of
put him
us.
on Alex's channel,
Yeah,
it's like
he's blowing up.
It's
So
funny
good.
because I started watching Eric. I was one of the first guys to watch Eric. I swear to God, I typed in snatch grip high pull, and he deleted the video, but he did like 4.5 plates or something, like to like the lower chest.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, he's fucking crazy. Training with him was so much fun. Like I'd just go over every like Saturday and Sunday, train in his basement, and like we'd experiment a little bit and just go full ham bone and like blast metal. Like it was so loud. We'd play the metal so loud. Like sometimes I'd like drive up and I'd be like a half mile away in my car and I'd hear the metal. Just so fucking loud. Like in his fucking basement. And it was amazing. Like
wow. It's like
that's good.
But you guys had like 5-hour workouts, no? Like
yeah, we go crazy sometimes. Like normally we just kind of like max out and go home like we normally do, but every once in a while we'd do like 5 lifts, and we both have, at least at the time, have like terrible work capacity because all we do is like 1 lift.
Oh my god, fuck, it's cutting off. You hear
like
me?
half dead.
Yeah. Okay.
That was fun.
Okay, let's talk about Zercher lifts, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you have a lot of experience with these Zercher lifts. What are some good tips that you could tell the audience to lift more with the Zercher lifts? Like, for example, I know that some guys they wear belts and they do Zercher lifts, and they kind of have the bar resting a bit on the belt, so it's easier on the elbows. Like, what are some hacks?
Yeah. So I don't like the belt thing because I get why people do it and it makes it easier, but I like to make things hard. So I don't. It kind of takes away from the goodness of Zerchers. But like what I do, so a lot of people I think hold it wrong. Like they'll put it right in the crook of their elbow, like a half inch forward on your forearm, and then you wrap around. Because a lot of people are worried about their biceps tendon tearing and stuff, but it actually shouldn't be on that. It should be like I said, like not right in the crook of your elbow, but slightly in front, and then you curl around it. Way more comfortable. You'll get a better grip on it too, because you can close your arm a little more. But I think a lot of people like they hurt, so people try to use pads or they try to use like a thick sweatshirt, but that just like makes the grip worse of it. So you just gotta man up and deal with the pain. Really, I think that's the best thing you can do. Just go bare arm, put some chalk on your forearms. That's what I do. Feel a better grip and just deal with it. I think Zerchers are great.
Yeah. But speaking of chalk, I've been experimenting with it in the last few months with chalk. Where let's say I'm back squatting, I'll put some chalk on my upper back. Helps the bar from rolling. Or if I'm front squatting, I'll put it on my upper chest. What are some other places where you could put chalk? Like for example, would you put chalk in the middle of your body for Zerchers, so it doesn't?
Yeah, I mean it can't hurt. Like any place the bar might touch, I'll put chalk usually. Like I said, in the Zercher, I'll put it on my forearms. I'll put it on my hands. Just anywhere that could possibly touch the bar, I'll put chalk. So
do you ever put chalk on the actual bar on any of your lifts?
Yeah, I do. Like that's the first thing I do. Like I have those like chalk bag things,
Okay.
And I'll like rub it all over the bar first, and then I'll put the chalk on myself too. Yeah.
So
I'm like full LeBron, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think that helps
the more grip,
bar
the
from
better.
rolling even more? Or?
I think so. Yeah. Like it might just be psychological. It's probably like half habit at this point, but whatever. Placebo effect's still in effect, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about direct work for the abs, obliques, and low back. What lifts do you think? What's like your bread and butter? What do you think has the most carryover to like the standing lifts?
I think like and glutes. I think most people don't do enough of them, and the people who do them don't go heavy enough. Like I was doing Zercher back extensions with like 300 something pounds.
Okay.
So you can go pretty heavy with them. A lot of good ways putting a safety squat bar on your back, going all the way down, back up. Like I think for like back extensions to be effective, if you're like halfway strong at least, they should be over 100 pounds. It's like holding a 25-pound plate just isn't enough. Stuff like that. I think doing some, like I said earlier, some rounded back deadlifts, like a snatch grip or whatever, on purpose just to work those bad positions is important. For ab work, for my clients, I have to do a lot of like planks and stuff, a lot of static holds. I don't do them because, like I said, I just max out every day. But I think another thing a lot of people don't do is like you can practice bracing like before you actually start lifting. Like what I do, I put a belt on and just like start bracing against it as I'm getting warm, just like to push against and get used to that feeling of bracing. So it can be good, just like activate everything before you even lift. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So are you on standing crunches?
Not really. I don't really do too much like contraction stuff with the abs, other than just planks mostly with my clients and stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes some like toes to bar. I'll do some of those with my clients and stuff. Those are good, but nothing too crazy.
All right. Interesting. Yeah, I hope you guys are soaking up some of this knowledge so far, man. Spitting some game.
Talk a lot of shit, but I think it's pretty good shit.
Yeah. No, the audience can learn a lot from this. Let's talk about, and just to mention, these questions are in no particular order. For those of you guys watching, just thought of some random questions, So,
yeah.
I saw you ripped a phone book. I think you said it was like 400 or 500 pages?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
You mind giving the audience like tricks to rip the phone book? Like I suppose you have to put in like a W.
Giving away my secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did I kind of almost like fold it, so like there's a little bit of separation between each page. It's like you can like push it against itself, and then you just kind of like gotta go fast. You like put a lot of power into it real fast, and then once it gets going, then it's easy. It's just getting it going. That's the hard part.
Wow. Because at one point I
that's kind of
really
fun.
wanted to rip one too, and I was looking up on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I guess, and I was applying the techniques that you just talked about, but I just started with too many pages. Yeah. I had to work up to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the first time I did it was like 40 pages, and then like
exactly,
just kind of work up. Yeah.
It's like progressive.
That's fun though. It's a good feat of strength, I guess. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, but apparently there's guys out there who don't use the trick and could actually rip it. Like,
that's fucking crazy.
The real type strongman, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I heard at least.
Yeah, that's
maybe
crazy. Yeah, that's what they tell you at least.
No proof, just happen.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Let's talk about belt talk. So, obviously belts are important, when you're more advanced. What's your take on belt placement for different lifts? Like, I saw on your snatch grip high pull, you put the belt backwards. And I think on other lifts, like you have it sometimes lower, sometimes higher. So you mind explaining that a bit?
So I usually do it like wherever I feel like I might collapse first. That's where I wear the belt. Like if I feel it's gonna be like my lower back's gonna kind of collapse, or like round a lot, I'll put it really low on me. If I feel like my mid back's gonna collapse, I'll put it way higher up.
Okay.
So kind of like if it depends on the behind the back deadlifts, my lower back would collapse first, so I put it as low as I could. For like trying to think. Like these like V-bar deadlifts I was doing, my mid-back was collapsing, so I put it higher up. That's how I do it.
That's smart.
Yeah. No real science behind it or anything, but it works for me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's interesting because a lot of lifters, like, you see George Lehman, it's like pretty much at his chest, and you see other lifters, it's super low. But I noticed you switch it up, different lifts, it's at different heights.
Yep.
So it's on backwards.
Totally. Yeah. I put it backwards. I remember I was doing like snatch grip high pulls and it kept hitting the fucking belt, like the buckle. I was like, well, this isn't working. Wow. So I just flipped it around. Looked like I had a tail.
What do you think of? Okay, let's talk about knee and elbow sleeves. Because obviously they have their place. Even knee and elbow wraps have their place. But what's your take on knee and elbow sleeves as far as elbow health is concerned or knee health is concerned, and also who do you think should be using it?
I think if you have pain when as you start warming up and it doesn't go away, then they can be good. Just keep the joints warm, like knee sleeves and stuff. I don't think they should become a crutch. Like I don't use them personally, and I have excellent joint health. Like I did 405 sissy squats, so without knee sleeves and stuff. I think I know the Russians believe in just wearing like a small strap around your knee instead of a whole wrap, just to keep like specific area warm and have some pressure on it, like around the patellar tendon. But I think they can be good if they help you lift more weight just by being more comfortable. Then go for it. If you like literally cannot lift without them, then something's wrong, and you should try and fix whatever's wrong. So, yeah.
Okay.
To each their own.
Okay. Well, let's say if someone reaches like a 550 squat or something, and they don't have they haven't been using them, but they don't have knee pain or anything, but they're looking for that extra.
Like wraps? Then I don't know. It's really up to the lifter. Oh, sleeves. Yeah. If what you've been doing is working, I wouldn't change it. Like if you've lifted your entire life without wraps or sleeves, I mean, and you felt fine the entire time, then why start? You know.
No, if you let's say you plateau at like 550 or something.
For anything that gets you past, even if, like I said, even like earlier, if it's a placebo effect, whatever.
Okay.
If it works, it works.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think they have their uses. I'd never wear them, but
we never. Okay. You think you're ever gonna incorporate any of them, or?
Probably not. I'm too lazy.
Okay.
It takes time to put shit on. But I have excellent joint health, so somehow.
Okay. Let's talk about what are your thoughts on training partners versus training alone? What do you like better? What's the pros and cons to having a partner?
I think you should have a training partner if you can. I always say like you become the average of the 5 people you hang around most. So if you're gonna hang around this person a lot, make sure they're pretty intense. Try to find someone stronger than you. Like when I was training with Eric, he made me so much better just by virtue of him being stronger than me. So there'd be days where I'm like not feeling it, and I'd see him do some crazy lift, be like, well, fuck, I gotta do a crazy lift too, you know. And vice versa, both ways. Like some days he wasn't feeling it too, and he'd see me like, oh shit, he's doing the same amount of weight I am. I better do better, you know. So I think if you can, make sure it's a good partner, someone you're not just talking with the entire time. Like it should be fun, but they should elevate you to some extent. You know, whether they have more knowledge than you, or they're stronger than you, or
they just have more heart than you, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever it is, like find someone better than you in some aspect of lifting, if you can. I lift alone a lot, which kind of sucks. That's why sometimes I'll like live stream my workouts, just so I can like talk to random internet strangers. Yeah, it just helps. I think having someone look at you makes you stronger. Even if it's like if you work out at home or something in a home gym, like bring your dog in. Just having your dog look at you will probably help. Just someone looking at you will hold you accountable a little bit. So I think it's good. If you can.
I think that's like the generation we're currently living in, you know, where no one could do a workout without it being filmed, you know?
Right.
You see on Instagram these guys filming all their warm-up sets and everything.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool too.
I agree.
You know?
Like with the reason I started filming myself in the first place was just like having the camera watch me made me lift heavier. It's holding it up all in your head, of course, but like just saying like, oh, the camera's on, I better go, you know.
But like what I think is important too is when you're recording yourself, not only does it put like pressure on you to like lift heavier, so you're gonna probably perform better, but you could also look back and look at your form, you know, and perfect it for the next time, you know. Exactly.
Totally agree. Yeah, I advise like people to film themselves, at least like once they're doing heavy sets. I don't film every warm-up set. That's stupid, but you know, when you're getting like over 80%, I usually start filming just to see it. Like, oh, I fucked up. Like I can do this better in the next set. You know. So.
Okay. Well, I have a workout partner too. Like every now and then. You
that
know?
Helps.
Yeah. Probably comes like once a week there. Like, kind of fell off there, but he's strong, you know.
Yeah.
Good deadlifter. But
yeah, just having someone like yell at you, like "come on" or whatever, it can help so much. So,
I want to talk about grinders, right? Because lately I've been talking a lot about them on my channel, and I've been getting some debates. People saying, "Look, Phil, grinders, all the strongest lifters like have done them." You know, what I'm telling them is that a lot of these guys do it in like motivational clips or maybe meets.
Yeah,
but they don't actually train like that year round. You know? And they're doing them on like certain lifts. Like there's certain lifts you could get away with it. You know, we're talking about like
for sure.
Inverted rows or like curls. Like there's certain lifts where it's like you could afford to grind. You know, but I'm saying like competition lifts, like a deadlift or like a squat. If you're grinding those week in week out, for longevity, in my opinion, like you're just ingraining the wrong movement patterns, and it's just you're getting yourself into bad habits. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna
But
teach
that's
yourself
what.
how to have more sticking points. What's your
That's why
thoughts on
I kind of
grinders?
yeah, I agree to some extent. It depends how you train. Like the way I train, just because I'm only doing one lift, I grind most days. But like the thing is, like I'm a pretty advanced lifter. I am athletic. Like I come from an athletic background, and I know my body very, very well. And most people don't. Even a lot of people who think they know their body well do not. And grinders, that's what a lot of people hurt themselves. A lot of the reason is because most people grind so seldom. Like I have a lot of practice grinding because I do it fucking every day
Exactly.
almost. So I'm very good at it. But a lot of people like they'll grind once a month and then they're just bad at it, and that's when the injuries happen. Um, so yeah, I think they have their place. There's like some days where it's good to grind for mental reasons, and like with my training style, it helps just because my volume's so low that I need the intensity to be way up there. Um, but yeah, for the general person just training for like overall strength, bunch of lifts, yeah, grindy stuff should be pretty seldom. I think. I agree.
Hmm.
But yeah, it depends how you train and like where you're at in your lifting career too.
Yeah, I had like in
Like,
that video I posted, I told people at the end like there's some people who could get away with it, like Eric
yeah,
Bugenhagen,
yeah,
because of this. He has good leverages for certain lifts. He has good
mm,
genetics. He has
yep,
good full body awareness. He's been training for well over a
exactly,
decade. And
exactly.
also, the lifts that he's doing, some of them allow him to grind. Like if you're doing a
Mm,
Jefferson deadlift, or if you're doing
mm,
a hack lift, like
yeah,
you could afford to like round a bit. And also, your torso is so vertical to begin with, but you
yeah,
can't be pulling off these grinders when you're doing like a back like a conventional deadlift if you don't have the good genetics for it. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
A lot of
Ugly
people like don't
grinders.
know the difference between like a grindy lift and a bad lift. Like if it's like a slow lift, that's one thing. But if like you're doing a back squat and your knees collapse in, they're like almost touching, and your back's rounded, like that's not good. I would like even me, I would not do that.
Yeah.
So there's difference between like slow and there's like the ugly shit a lot of people do.
Yeah, there's
Like a lift should never get
technical
very ugly.
failure. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
technical failure. It's like when the lift is really slow,
Yeah,
but it looks exactly like the first rep. You know, so like your technique is still there, but just the lift's
yeah,
slow. So you're
exactly.
not breaking form. You're just going slower.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. Yeah,
But
I agree.
I think people have to understand like there's certain lifts where it's more appropriate. You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
like
Like a trap bar deadlift, you can grind that all day and you'll probably be fine. But a conventional, that's where the shit happens.
yeah, exactly. Or like let's say a
Yeah.
snatch grip height deficit. Like you try to grind that, it's like
Yeah, it's not
it's a
good.
little sketchy. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so well, we ran through these questions a lot faster than I thought, but hope you guys enjoyed it so far. Now I
I hope
have
so too.
now I have more questions for clients because I know you're a trainer.
Yep.
You know,
Mm.
so for all the coaches
Yep.
watching this, you may want to tune in. You know,
Mm.
it's important for coaches to like share their thoughts too on certain philosophies. So
Yeah.
okay, so I was making a series where I'm talking about 6 things novices shouldn't have to worry about right now. So
Mm.
they should focus on at the moment and they should focus on later on down the line. And I told him that said in that video how maxing out all the time is not necessary. You
Mm.
posted a video saying you can max out every now and then. So
Yeah.
in your
So
opinion,
like
yeah,
yeah, so like with my clients, what I do, pretty much when I first start with them, once I teach them a movement and they've got it down like 80, 90% ish, like a deadlift or whatever, I'll have them go almost max out, not like 100% grindy max out, but yeah, one of the first things I have him do is like do like a technical max. Like one of my clients, he was his fourth time ever overhead pressing last week, and he pressed like 155 or 145 or something. So we went up to like something that was like 90, 95% because I think a lot of new lifters don't really know how heavy things are supposed to feel. So I'll have like a lot of clients will do, like start with deadlift for example, be like we'll have 135 in the bar, and I'll say on a scale from 1 to 10, how heavy did that feel? And they'll always say, oh, 8 out of 10. Then I'll put 50 more pounds on, and they'll do it again. How did that feel? Oh, 8 out of 10. 50 more pounds. How'd that feel? 8 out of 10. So I think a lot of new people just don't know how things are supposed to feel really. And I think just by like going to a point where it gets a little bit slow, kind of teaches them like, okay, I'm capable of more than I thought. So that can be good. So like I don't have a max out all the time like I do, where it's every day, but I usually have them. Like I said, once they learn a lift halfway decent, I'll have them go close to a max. Yeah, just builds confidence. For one thing, a lot of new lifters, like I think a lot of new lifters just, if you start out I'll start with a bar and slowly work my way up. Like you're just not, if you start your your career or lifting career with mediocre effort, you're going to do mediocre effort your entire life. So by like, pushing it a little bit from the start's a good thing.
So on average,
but again, don't go crazy with it.
Okay. Well, on average, how many times did you max out with a client? Like, let's say the guy never trained a day in his life. Yeah. Now he's been training with you 2 months.
So we probably do like some kind of like close to a max, like 90-95%, like just for a single, then drop down and do sets. Probably in at least one lift every 2 weeks. I do with my clients. So like work up to like 99-95% deadlift, then drop back down, do sets at 80% or whatever. Or be same with overhead press or whatever. Just we'll kind of cycle through the exercises. I think it can be good, just kind of teach you how to max out. So I think a lot of times people get injured maxing out because they don't do it often enough. If you only max out like once every 6 months or once a year, you're going to be really bad at maxing out. Because it is a skill. It's different. Like hitting 100% lift is a lot harder and different than hitting an 85% lift or even a 95% lift. So just by having that practice, having that like confidence of maxing out too, can help a lot of people.
Interesting.
So it's a little different than a lot of people. Probably a lot of people would disagree with me, but
it's a good way. It's a good way to look at it too, because you have two perspectives. You have mine where I'm like, there's no point in novices maxing out all the time because you need to get the movement pattern down. In order to do that, you have to practice the lift. So if you work up to a single, well, you only got 1 rep that day. But if you do something like a 3x3 or a 5x5, you got 9 reps or 25 total. So it's like practicing. It's like a jump shot. You get better at it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there's your perspective where it's like, wait, maybe after a few weeks or a few months, we could test the single every now and then and get their confidence up.
Yep, exactly.
It's going to make them happier and it's going to make it more fun for them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if all you ever, like, hitting big PRs is always fun. Like, everyone loves getting a PR. So then it can, like, keep people interested for one thing. A lot of, like, the average person isn't all that interested in lifting. Like, obviously we are. But the average person is just like, I want to stay healthy. But if you get them, like, oh, you hit a PR, you hit another PR, you hit another PR, then they're going to start getting more and more interested in the lifting and put more effort in usually. So it's like, there's 1,000 ways to progress people. That's just the way I do it.
No, I can understand your perspective though. I respect it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And also, like, 1 rep maxes could be really safe too. It's only 1 rep.
Exactly, yeah.
Especially if it's sub max,
Exactly, yeah. Like I said, I normally push them like 90-95% most of the time. The more comfortable people get with maxing out as they get further on in the lifting career, I'll let them go to an absolute max. I want my clients to go to an absolute max. He's been lifting with me for 8 or 9 months, and he's a beast. He can only actually lift weights once a week, and we deadlifted 435 last week with him. It was like a little bit grindy, but
I saw it.
Not too bad.
No, still.
But he's confident maxing out, so we went for it. It was pretty cool. 9 months, never lifting in his life before. Pretty good, 435.
Oh, that's amazing,
Yeah.
But what I've noticed with a lot of novices, because obviously I train people like not just online too, in the gym.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, and if you look at a lot of novice programs, like you look at Alex's, like Alpha Destiny, his novice program, you look at Starting Strength. If you notice the pattern, or even Blaha's ice cream program, novice, whatever.
Yeah. Blaha.
What's it called? The pattern is that there's a lot of moderate reps, 5s. Yeah. And the thing with 5s for novices that I've noticed is that it's like really the sweet spot, because I don't feel like novices earn the right to do like sets of 10 yet, because their full body awareness is not there. And at the same time, if they do too low, they're not really practicing the technique, But if you do 5s, they're still lifting somewhat heavy weights that they could handle while like not exceeding the point where their form is breaking down too much, because it's only 5 reps,
Yeah, exactly. I think 3 to 5 is great for a lot of people.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah. I do a lot of like 3x3 with a lot of clients. Sometimes we'll do like a drop down set afterwards so they can get a little like hypertrophy work in. So we'll say 3 sets of 3 with 85% of their max, and then drop down and do like a set of 10 with, I don't know, like 60, 70% or whatever happens to be that day. So you can get a little bit of both. Then you get the practice of, having a little higher reps, and we'll practice lower reps, and I think it's important for beginners to hit a decent variety too. I think a lot of beginners get stuck too much and like, I'm gonna hit 3 lifts and then that's it. Like that's my problem with starting strength. There's just not enough variation for one thing.
No, for
I think
sure.
so. Yeah, like it works. Like I think the problem is that there's really two types of beginners. There's the ones who like played sports their entire lives but never really like lifted, and there's the kinds who've just been lazy their entire life, straight off the couch, you know.
Yeah.
So there's like, so if you're like an athlete, like doing like starting strength, you'll probably see great success because you already have this like accumulated volume over your life of different movement patterns and stuff. But if you're just off the couch, it's not enough variation. So it really depends on the person a lot.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Let's talk about the squat. It's obviously an essential lift
For sure.
for beginners. You know, for any lifter, anybody who plays most sports.
Yeah.
How would you teach the squat? Are you the kind of lifter who's a coach who's teaching them with the box squat, or are you just making them do free squats off the bat?
Yeah, what I usually start people with like a goblet squat. So like, there's a kettlebell holding here. So you have them start with that, and then I progress them to a front squat and then back squat. So some people go straight to the back squat, which is fine, but I think just getting a lot of volume in squatting starting out, like teaching them proper depth, which is really easy with a goblet squat. It's easier with a front squat. Getting comfortable going deep with a straight back, and that's the way to go. So most of my clients, like before I have them move up to go to back squats, they're usually close to 225 front squats usually, and then I'll have them start doing back squats.
Oh, well, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, so like I coach slightly different than I train myself, or a lot different than I train myself, I should say. But yeah, I like getting people's front squat really good. It's easier to teach how to brace, I think, with the front squat. Like it kind of braces for you in a way. It builds a lot of upper back strength.
They could pretty much, a lot of people who do front squats could go lower too.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that's really important, especially for just hip health in general. Most people sit way too much, so getting them to like open up their hips and go deep can be really beneficial.
But is it always like Olympic style grip, or
if they can? I'll sometimes have like the cross arms, or some people if they have anatomy, I'll just have them hold with their thumbs, which works for some people. So it's kind of in the middle there, so you can be a little more relaxed with your wrists.
Okay.
But I'll try and teach them the Olympic style, so I'll just have them stretch their triceps and lats usually first, and then they're okay. But yeah, I'm a big believer in like getting really good at front squats before you do back squats personally. Which again, a lot of people probably disagree with me, but especially if you're deadlifting at the same time, like you just hit more. I don't know
That's
how to explain it.
It's an interesting way to look at it, like the front squat, because usually I recommend the novice program of Alex to a lot of novices out there, because I think it's a good system. It has the basic lifts, has some long head lifts.
Yeah.
It's a trap bar, whatever. It's a great system overall. It's very basic, straight to the point. A, B, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
His philosophy is you don't do front squats till your back squat, or your box squat is at 275 for 5.
Yeah.
And then you can switch to front squat. But you're saying you'll start the guy off with some goblets, then you'll go to the front. Then once you get the front 225, then move to the back squat. So it's just cool how different coaches think in different ways, and I can understand both points.
I totally agree. Like I said earlier, there's a million ways to get people to progress. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really like front squats. I think they're a little bit more of an athletic movement, which is good. It's just how I do it. It works well for me. Like all my clients are really good squatting. So,
okay.
Like you never see someone with a really good front squat who has a bad back squat, but you see a lot of people with a bad or a really good back squat who can't front squat for shit. So I think
it's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, right. There's people like who back squat like 600 pounds and their front squat's fucking like 225. But you never find someone like front squatting 405 who can't deadlift or who can't back squat 600. So
it's funny,
So I think it's just how it is. Plus, it's kind of like another confidence thing. Like, it makes them go like, okay, I know I can front squat 225, and this guy training me told me that back squats are easier. Then boom, 315 first day, easy. Where a lot of people are like timid with back squats when they start out. So, just how I do it.
Yeah. I was thinking about my own training of my back squat and front squats.
Yeah, like most people suck at front squats, so like most people don't do them just because they suck at it.
No, what I was thinking about was my back squat. I know, sorry, it's not related to the video or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
My back squat was always a plate. No, my front squat is always a plate under my back, right?
Yeah. That's a lot of people.
I noticed as I got my back squat to 455, like on Instagram, and then I went to do front squats yesterday, and
Yeah.
I tried 3.5 and it buried me, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's like I'm thinking like as you get stronger with the back squats, it starts to get a little
Yep.
bit like
Yeah. They start separating more and more and more.
next thing you know, you're back squatting like 600, your front squat's like maybe 455, you know,
Yeah. Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
Let's talk about back to the coaching
Mm.
exercise. High exercise. No. Sorry. Exercise rotation.
Yeah.
So how often do you think novices should rotate exercises?
I think once you start, it's hard to say. I think if it's, I think you should rotate your accessories decently often, especially as a novice, just to get experience doing new lifts. So like do the same, like if you're doing like an inverted row when you start out, like get good at those, and then once you're good at them, start doing pull-ups, for example. Once you get good at pull-ups, start doing bent over rows. So you keep working the same muscle groups, but just in different ways, like teaching your body to move better. With the big lifts, like as a beginner, I usually have people focus on like 3 or 4 lifts max. Um, I like instead of bench, I usually get people really good overhead press first. But before I have a lot of my clients bench, I'll have them, I want them overhead pressing at least 155, and then I'll start teaching them how to bench. So I think just focusing on a few lifts starting out, like main lifts, is good because I think your body will see more changes. Like adding 100 pounds to 3 different lifts is going to do a lot more for you than adding 20 pounds to 6 lifts, like body change wise. And
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, so like focus on like 2 or 3, maybe 4 lifts, like main lifts, and then yeah, rotate your accessories decently often. Like every time you get good at an accessory, I'd say switch it
I agree.
as a beginner. Yeah.
Because a lot of beginners make the mistake of like they're not even good at one lift, but they want to just skip to all these different
Yes.
lifts and rotate. But you're just teaching
Exactly.
yourself how to like just do every lift shitty, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Like
oh, I want to have
get
like the
all right
best
at
bent
one
over row
first.
and the best deadlift and the best squat and the best overhead press and the best bench, the best. You're just not going to be good at anything.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Let's talk about because obviously as coaches you get all kinds of like clients with different issues. Let's talk about
Yeah.
anterior pelvic tilt. Like obviously if he's fresh off the couch, like you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Yeah. If you're fresh off the couch, I try to fix it. If you're an athlete and it doesn't cause problems, I'm okay with it. Like when I lived in Norway, I trained a sprinter for a while, and he had pretty bad pelvic tilt. But as a sprinter, it allows you to extend your legs back farther, which can be beneficial. So for him, I was like,
that's it. Yeah.
we're not gonna fix it because it's a benefit for you. But like a 60-year-old woman off the couch, then I do my best to fix that.
And
So.
while you're fixing these issues,
Mm,
like let's say you take them through the warm up. You may do like some certain stretches, activation drills, and just you teach them how to
yeah.
like, fire certain muscles and stuff, and
Yeah.
stretch out certain tight areas.
Yeah.
While you're in that fixing process, are you still making them pull and squat?
Oh, for sure.
With light loads, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So what I'll usually do with like someone who needs some kind of like rehab/prehab stuff that's really important for them, like older population or people who've hurt themselves, I'll usually have them. The first thing we'll do is again like mobility usually, and then focus on that exact issue they have. Like if they have poor hamstring activation, the first thing we'll do is like do a bunch of hamstring curls or whatever, back extensions. And then we'll go on to the main lift. If it's someone who doesn't really need that, then we'll do that at the end. So I kind of like switch the order we'll do stuff, but yeah, just for general people, we'll just kind of fix it a little bit first and then do the main stuff still.
Wow. Okay.
So.
Speaking of hamstring curls, I saw a video you posted on the Tom Platz.
Yeah, the Tom Platz style.
That's sick.
Yeah, I was sore for like a week and a half.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I think
people underestimate the hamstring curl, but it's like if you do it
Oh, for
properly, it's a good movement. And also,
Yeah.
no one's doing a knee flexion for the most part. They're doing all the RDLs and stuff, but
yeah. I think hamstring curls is the only machine I'll ever use. I think I use them with a lot of clients. We'll do a lot of hamstring stuff. Most people have really inactive hamstrings. They sit all day long. So I'll use the hamstring curl machine quite a bit.
Mhm.
I think that's another thing a lot of people don't use quite correctly. They'll like do slow controlled reps, but like I like to be on the way up very explosive. Like I try to slam the machine in my ass as hard as I can. That's like the way I cue myself is just slam it in my ass as hard as I can.
I saw that. Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah.
It's safe to do it like that.
Yeah, I think so. And then on the way down, I try to control it. Like I don't let it just like smash down. It's like as explosive as I can on the way up, control on the way down. I mean, that's, for me at least, and a lot of my clients, that's how I teach it. That's the best way to do it because it just seems to work best. I think you get the most activation. Don't do, like if you watch my video doing it, don't do it quite how I was doing it. I was like half messing around and going nuts on it, like trying to break the machine. But yeah, I think if you're using it and it's quiet, you're not doing it hard enough. Like, you should make some noise. That's my opinion.
What do you think about people who, as they're pulling the weight up, they bring it to like close to the glute area and they're still like pulling it in an isometric fashion?
I think it'd be okay, but I think that's where the explosiveness comes in, where it allows you to like push through that area a little bit.
You like slamming it more better.
Yeah, I like to slam it. Like there's merits to doing other ways too, like controlling it both ways, like to build activation and stuff. That can be fine, but if you're like kind of working on strength, I think being explosive is the best way to do it. You can move a little more weight, which is always good, and then you kind of overload that eccentric a little more than too. So.
Okay, so let's talk about back to the clients and coaching. So obviously, you talk to 10 different coaches about breathing cues. You're pretty much going to get 10 different answers. So how do you cue your clients to breathe during the big lifts?
Like when they're starting out, the cues I usually use are like take a deep breath, try to exaggerate the breathing. Like you'll hear in my videos, so I go make a really loud breath, so it's very audible. It's kind of like cues you to bring in more air. Fill up your lungs, like in your stomach, as much as you can. Push the stomach out. Tighten everything. Like imagine you have like even if you're not lifting the belt, imagine the belt's there, and then hold it the entire rep. I usually tell people. So I usually tell people starting out at least to only breathe when you're in a standing position. So like in a squat, only when you're finished the rep you can breathe at the top, or if you're deadlifting, like breathe again in the standing position. That's how I cue it. And then to do the Valsalva maneuver, which is like that clenching feeling, like if you're constipated, like the that feeling. So, that's how I usually tell them to do it. Like just squeeze.
Okay.
But that's why I try to keep it as simple as I can with people. I think if you give too many cues, they start overthinking everything and it just gets worse. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the pull-ups and dips. So obviously, if you're a beginner, these are essential lifts, especially for building arms. I don't feel like beginners should be doing arm days or doing tons and tons of curls and extensions after every workout. It's fine to have some, but I feel like the majority of your arm size is going to come from chin-ups and dips when you're a beginner.
Yeah,
What's your take on, because a lot of coaches are teaching it differently. Some people are doing the band chin-ups, some people are doing the eccentrics, some are doing the machine. How do you teach someone how to get to the chin-up and dip for reps as fast as possible?
So what I usually do, like especially with women too, is like some men can just do a pull-up right off the bat, but not all of them, of course. But I usually, if you have access to doing a neutral grip pull-ups, I think doing eccentrics on those is a little easier on the shoulders and stuff if you're doing a lot of eccentrics. So like what I usually start people with is doing just slow eccentrics. I'll do like 5 sets of 1 just as slow as I can, and then maybe 5 sets of 2, 5 sets of 3. And once they can do 5 sets of 3 really slow and very controlled the whole time, then we'll usually move on. If they can't do a pull-up at that point, we'll do like partials. So I'll just do like, have them start at the top and just do the top third of the movement, just a bunch of little like third pull-ups. And then rest, and then do the middle third, rest, and then do the bottom third. Kind of split up the pull-up a little bit, kind of teach them how to start pulling. And usually after a few weeks of that, they can normally do a pull-up. So start with eccentrics, go to partials, and then usually full.
Okay, so you're like they're standing on the floor. They pretty much just jump into position, do the eccentric.
Yeah, or go off a box or whatever. Yeah.
Or off a box. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not a big advocate of the bands, huh?
No, I know it's like it's completely anecdotal, but I think most people I see in the gym who do a lot of band work with pull-ups rarely progress to full ones because it kind of takes like the bracing aspect out of the pull-up. I think that's the main problem with it, honestly. Like, because like with a normal pull-up, your body can swing and move, so you have to brace against that. But with the band, it kind of holds you in place a little bit too much. So I'm a big fan of like eccentrics and partials. Yeah, exactly. That's just me. Again, I'm sure bands work for some people, but when I teach it, like all the women I train can do pull-ups, usually within like a few months of training, absolute max. So even if they're only coming a couple times a week. So yeah, a lot of eccentrics, a lot of partials, good to go. So.
Yeah, I made a video 4 ways to get your first pull-up back in the day when I first made my videos, and kind of regret putting the bands in there, but I think the bands can still
Yep.
have their place.
I agree. Yeah, I
But
think
wait
like,
for super
if
high reps at
people
the end or something, you know?
exactly, yeah, like just kind of building confidence in the actual pulling motion can be good with bands, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also where the partials can come in. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes with some people, like if I can tell the strength is there, but they're not quite confident enough to like actually do it, which is a lot of it, like is mental. I always say, I'll have them just like pick their feet up and I'll hold their feet, and then I won't actually push them up at all, but I'll have them push against me, but like just as little as they need. And a lot of people won't even actually push against me. It's just like the confidence of someone holding them will allow them to do a pull up.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they're only pushing, like they'll maybe put 5 pounds of pressure against me, they'll just kind of build that confidence and the
Okay.
pulling aspect of it. So
Then as
that
far
can work
as
too.
as far as like for loading for the pull up and dip, like when do you think it's appropriate to load a novice with additional loads?
I think for pull ups, once
Like
you can get your
10?
chest, yeah, I'd say like chin above the bar for 10, chest above the bar for 5. Then you could probably good enough to start adding weight.
So then
Um,
you add what, like 10 pounds and go
yeah,
back
just
to
start
like five
light.
reps or something? Or
Yeah, it probably sets a 3 to 6 ish around there.
okay.
And just treat it like any other movement, really. Just do really small jumps. Like, don't try to make 20-pound jumps every day, but try to
Okay.
just treat it like another lift. Yeah, like I said, like 10 chin above the bar, 5 chest above the bar. So
Mm.
I think a lot of people skimp on the range of motion and pull ups. I think it's important. Not all you do, but a lot of you, like at least half the pull ups you do, should be chest above the bar, in my opinion. Getting way up here instead of just there.
Hmm.
So touches me.
Well, I feel like that's where people like kind of sell themselves short, and
Yeah,
a lot of
they
people,
kind
a
of like
lot of
stick their chin
novices,
out, and
yeah, they start
yeah,
loading way too soon. You know,
I agree. I agree.
it's kind of like the whole band and chains thing. Like I see a lot of novices using bands and chains. It's like
Yeah,
you're
you
using
don't
that
need to
way too
be.
soon. You know, you're screwing
Oh,
yourself
for
up
sure.
up for the long term.
Yeah, I see a lot of people. They'll be like, they'll have like a 135 bench and they'll like band up. Like, dude, like you're probably just making yourself weaker. If anything, like
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah.
learn to feel the weight, use the weight.
Mhm.
So
Let's
yeah,
talk about fat loss. You know, obviously clients come in all shapes and sizes, and some of them want
true.
to, lose some weight.
Mm.
Are you a bigger advocate of doing some conditioning after the workout, like for 15 minutes or something, or are you gonna make the client come in for a conditioning day or
Yeah,
something?
you should have them come in like by themselves and just go do some like low intensity cardio, starting out, and once they get used to that, have them do some intervals, usually by themselves. Friday, Tuesday, and Thursday, or like Thursday, do some easy cardio starting out, and then advance to some intervals once they get comfortable there. So not like insane stuff. I think most weight loss should really come from monitoring your diet. You'll build better habits.
Hmm.
Monitoring how many calories you're eating, stuff like that. That's where most of the weight loss I think should come from. They say that's what I do with my clients, especially the ones who don't work out that often. Like if you can only make it twice a week, you're not really burning enough calories for it to do much. So learning how to monitor what you eat, building a good relationship with food, I think is really important.
Yeah,
So
it's a completely different topic altogether.
yeah, for sure.
The
We
food,
could
yeah,
talk about that for 6 days if you wanted to,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah.
But you think you should follow you think novices should follow progressive overload on the conditioning? Like let's say they're doing jump rope, eventually you start doing like double unders and let's say maybe have like a weight vest or one
Yeah,
leg.
yeah, I think you can. But it depends on the client, like where they start. If they're like super overweight, I'll maybe just have them start with walking, even like just adding some walking to their day. Like if you go to the grocery store, park in the back of the parking lot and walk the whole way. Like if you take the bus somewhere,
Yeah,
get off 2 stops early and then walk the rest. So I like with really overweight people, have them start with that. Maybe work their way up to the row machine once they get better at walking and build some strength and stuff. I like the row machine a lot just because I competed in it, but also it carries over a lot to the gym more so than like running would. Like you're never running with weights, or you shouldn't be probably.
hmm,
But like the row is very similar to a squat, similar to a deadlift, so it's just more focus or more time spent doing similar movement patterns. But,
hmm.
but yeah,
Okay. Okay, so now we're really approaching the end. Want to know? This is the last coaching question. It's
okay.
what do you think the big difference is between training women and training men? As far as like finding women are more flexible, more mobile.
That's usually
What is
true.
it?
I notice women are better at handling more volume. There's some like science behind it too. So I'll usually program a little more volume for women than I do men. For example, if we're doing 5 sets of 5 with a guy, I might have a similar girl do 6 sets of 5, for example.
Because the
I
weights
think
are
they
lighter.
not necessarily. I think it's just women recover a little faster than men typically. Like it's again, it's a little bit anecdotal. There's some science behind it, I know, but you never see like women complaining about a lift a week later. But like guys are always like, "Fuck, that really messed me up."
Hmm.
When I think in general, honestly, women are a little tougher too, starting out. Like straight off the couch, the average woman's probably a little tougher than the average guy, so you can push them a little harder from the start. Um, but one of the things I do with women, I think the first thing I want to build their confidence. A lot of women come into the gym just a little scared. I think there's like they don't want to be like, oh, there's always bros here. I don't want to be one of those bros. So I think one of the first things I do is just like build their confidence. Like, look, this is a deadlift.
Hmm.
We're gonna get your first pull up. We're gonna get your first push up. And I think a lot of people go into the gym. Like the one woman I trained, she came in and I was like, okay, the first thing we'll work on is like teaching you how to do a proper push up, like feet on the ground, not in your knees, full chest to the ground, all the way up. And she was like, I could never do that. There's no way. I've been trying to do push-ups for 10 years. I was like, just give me a chance. And in 2 weeks, she was banging out like 5 push-ups, no problem. So it was like a lot of it's like building their confidence and like, you can do this,
Hmm.
just because society has been like, oh, you can't be strong. You're a weak girl. Like, it's not true at all. Like most of the women I train are way stronger than the average guy. Way, way stronger.
Hmm.
So yeah, I usually the first thing I do is build their confidence more. Most guys come in too confident, and most women come in not confident enough. So um, yeah, I'll build that a little more volume for women. Focus more on um, building like pull-ups and body weight stuff, probably.
Hmm.
Yeah, not a whole lot different really. Just a little more volume for the most part.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Mm.
Okay, so that wraps up the coaching section. I just thought of some new questions on the spot, so whatever.
Nice. Yeah,
Okay,
go for it.
what's your take on the genetic potential? Do you think it's a myth?
Yeah, I think it's a myth. Like obviously genetics come into play with lifting. Like some people are more genetically inclined to be good at lifting heavy weights. Some are maybe made for being marathon runners, but I think it's a myth. We always see like people back in the day thought the 4 minute mile was impossible. Like your body would explode if you ran a 4 minute mile.
Hmm.
But then it was done, and then I think within like 2 months, 5 other people had done it. I think
Oh,
it's same
really?
with like the marathon right now. People are always trying to break the 2 hour mark. And I think the second it's done, a bunch of people are going to suddenly do it. It's a mindset. Like Eric Bugenhagen always says, it's a mindset, and it's really true with lifting. Like the 1,000 pound deadlift seemed impossible not too long ago, and now there's dozens of guys who can deadlift 1,000 pounds. Same with the squat. It was 1,000 pounds is impossible, and now a bunch of people can do it. So I think it takes one person to do it first, and then suddenly
Everyone
it's
starts coming out
doable.
the closet. Like,
Exactly. No, it's true. So you just gotta have your mindset. Like when I lift, the first time I do a new lift, I don't worry about the weight. I just start putting weight on. I don't think, oh man, like 405 would be really hard with this lift. I was like, let's see what I can do, you know.
mhm.
And so I think the genetic potential is just all made up, honestly. Like, will we ever see a 2,000 pound deadlift? Maybe. Who
Mhm.
knows? I think someone's got to do it. That's all it takes.
Mhm.
People thought climbing Everest was impossible, and now like hundreds of people do it every day.
Yeah,
So
I hate when people talk about the genetic potential.
yeah, it's bullshit. It's just an
What,
excuse for being weak,
yeah, what there really is
honestly.
though is old age. You know, like when you're
Yeah,
50 years old, your recovery's gonna go to shit for the most
yeah, of
part. You're not
course.
gonna be like
Yeah,
able to,
yeah.
and eventually it's just
You
you're
start
gonna lose
tapering off,
muscle
of course,
as the years go on, and
of course. But
that's what I
like,
think.
yeah, Roy's better. If you showed like in the '80s, even if you showed them a modern like NFL player, they'd be like their mind would be blown.
Yeah, yeah.
People would never be like that's not possible. You can't have guys that big, and now every NFL player is gigantic.
But
So
also
it's
the
like,
drugs are getting like way out of hand too.
oh, for sure, that's very very true.
But also,
But it's just you know, I don't think there's a potential. I think it's limitless. It's whatever we imagine it to be.
Mhm.
So if you imagine 1,000 pound deadlift's impossible, it's going to be impossible. But if you imagine it is possible, then it's possible.
Mhm.
That's all it takes.
Who are some of like your Who do you look up to, like, drug-free wise?
Eric, of course. Some of the guys like I talk to online who have started training like I do, which is fun. There's one guy, Michael Scullin. He used to play for the University of Georgia. He's a football player. I look up to him because he's just like he's a beast of a dude. There's a guy in Norway, Marcus Bruvik. He's 16 years old, and he's a skinny, tiny guy. He's pretty short, and no offense, man, but he's pretty short. And he's just like beasting these lifts. Like I don't know how much he weighs. I think he's like low 100 pounds, like 120 pounds or something like that. And he's squatting, almost 4 times his body weight soon. It's like stuff like that. I think like anyone I feel who's passionate about their lifting and really pushes himself, I really look up to. Trying to think. Like even some like drugged up guys I look up to. Like as stupid as it sounds, like Rich Piana. He's on every drug fucking imaginable. But he was really passionate about his lifting and how he lived. He lived his life as well as he could. So I like stuff like that. Anyone who's really intense about their lifting, I looked up to. So with that, yeah.
So I think that pretty much wraps it up. So just a brief overview. We went over like his background, multitude of different questions on the big lifts, even some coaching lifts for all the coaches out there who happen to care. So solid Q&A, man.
Thanks, man. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for having me. So.
For sure. We'll probably do this again sometime. And
for sure. Once I get that 700-pound ox lift, you can interview me again.
Maybe we can one day get a lifting session together, whatever,
Dude, that'd be awesome. I got to come to Canada.
Yeah, if you come to Canada or you come to Montreal, for sure,
Yeah.
Get that on tape, be sick.
That'd be awesome.
But for the audience, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. I can't recommend a lot of channels, but if you guys like my stuff, definitely like his stuff.
Thanks, man.
He has a lot of lifting videos and stuff. So Dairyland Strength, I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna timestamp everything too. So yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. And you got anything else to say?
Or not really. Just lift hard. I don't know. Try trying. That's the best advice I can give. Yeah.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
Take care, bro.
It's good talking to you. See ya.